Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I wanted to share with you guys a super quick and easy appetizer recipe that's going to be a hit for the holiday season. I'll be making my prosciutto wrapped, cheese stuffed, baked dates. This incredible appetizer is always such a huge hit with everybody, and it's super easy to make. We're going to grab some large dates, split them open, stuff them full of cheese, and then wrap them up in some delicious prosciutto. And then we'll pop them into the oven until that cheese is nice and melted. Every single bite is just bursting with incredible flavor. You get that melted cheese, the sweet dates, the salty prosciutto, and then I like to drizzle a little bit of honey or some balsamic glaze on top just to finish it off. It just tastes so incredibly delicious. Let me show you how to make this easy appetizer. All right, I have my oven preheating to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and I've taken out a log of goat cheese. I've softened this at room temperature for about 30 minutes, just so it's easier to spread and stuff inside of the dates. Now this recipe is great with so many different cheeses. You can use mascarpone, goat cheese, and if you're a fan of blue cheese or gorgonzola cheese, this is the perfect place to use it too. It adds a little bit of something extra on the inside. We're gonna set the cheese aside, and first we need to prep our dates. So let's talk about these. I'm going to be using some large unpitted dates. Now I recommend getting them unpitted first because it's super easy to do it yourself at home, but also when they pit them and then they store them, they get a little bit squished, and then it's harder to stuff them and fill them, and they don't look quite as pretty. So let's get started on these first. And it's super easy to pit these dates too. So I'm gonna grab a paring knife and we're gonna split the date in half, and then just take your knife and kind of peel the date open. Just like that. And then there's a tiny little pit that you want to take out. Drop that in the box. And then this, see how large it is on the inside? You can stuff so much cheese on the inside here. And this easy appetizer is really great for making ahead of time too. You could just stuff the dates, wrap them in prosciutto, place them onto a tray, and then keep them stored and wrapped in the refrigerator until you're ready to bake them. And when you're ready to serve, just place them into the oven, warm them up until that cheese is nice and warm and that prosciutto is slightly crispy. And then you can also make as much or as little of these as you need. For example, when it's just my husband and myself, I'll maybe make like 6 or 8 of these, but when I'm hosting a party, I'll make like 30 or 40 of them. So it's super easy to scale up and down too. And now we could start stuffing the dates. So you want to split the date open, grab like a little spatula or a little spoon, and then just spread the cheese on the inside. And I love to have lots of cheese, so don't be shy to add as much as you would like. And softening that cheese just a little bit ahead of time makes it super easy to fill the dates. All right, we have our dates all stuffed with the goat cheese. Now it's time for the prosciutto. So I have a tray of prosciutto. Now we don't need a full slice for each date. I'm actually going to cut these kind of in half, or you don't even have to cut them, just kind of pull them apart. And we're gonna grab a date and then wrap the prosciutto around. Oh, I just love the flavor of that sweet date combined with the creamy cheese. And then you have the salty prosciutto. These are gonna be so incredibly delicious. And then we could just place them right onto a baking sheet. Super easy to make, and this appetizer is always such a huge hit with everybody, especially like during the holiday season for my Christmas parties or even for Thanksgiving, really any time of the year. These are just fantastic. Once I have all of my dates wrapped with prosciutto, I'm gonna grab a little pastry brush and just brush the tops very lightly with a little bit of olive oil, just to keep these really nice and crispy in the oven. And I also like to place the dates with like the seam side and the cheese side facing upwards, so the cheese doesn't melt onto the baking sheet. I also like to sprinkle just a little bit of fresh thyme over the top. Just adds A little something extra to the recipe. My prosciutto wrapped cheese stuffed dates are ready to go into the oven. They're going to bake at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 8 to 10, even sometimes 12 minutes until that prosciutto is golden and lightly crispy on the outside. You want that cheese to be warmed on the inside as well. We'll come back. I'm going to show you how I love to serve these. And then for serving these, I'm going to transfer them onto a little serving tray here. And this one is so cute. It's perfect for the holidays. Picked it up at Home Goods. I get most of my things at Home Goods. They have so many great little trays and lots of variety. Next, I'm going to grab a little bit of honey and then just give it a really light drizzle over the top of the dates. It's going to add a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of that honey flavor. And we're also going to add a little bit of balsamic glaze. Add some pomegranate just to make this look extra festive. And these are ready to be enjoyed. And that's it for this super easy and delicious date, cheese, and prosciutto recipe. You guys are going to love this for the holiday season and year round. For the full list of the ingredients, the printable recipe, and more appetizer recipes, make sure to head on down the video description box. I've got a link there that'll take you over to my website where you can find so much more info. Time to dig in and enjoy. These look so good. I love having that drizzle of the honey and then that balsamic glaze on the top. They're just so easy to eat too. They're like 2-3 bite appetizers. These are so incredibly delicious. I absolutely love these while they're still warm. That cheese is really nice and soft. You get that salty, slightly crispy prosciutto on the outside. You have the sweet dates, and I love having a little bit of that balsamic and the honey on top. Really completes everything and puts it all together. So incredibly delicious. I swear I can probably eat like 5 or 6 of these in 5 minutes. You guys are going to love everything about this easy appetizer recipe. These cheese stuffed dates are packed with so much incredible flavor, and they are always a hit with everybody at any gathering. And I also really like that you can make these ahead of time. Just keep them wrapped, stored in the fridge, and then when you're ready to serve, pop them in the oven for that 8 to 10 minutes, and you are all set with one amazing appetizer. Don't forget to head on down the video description box and head over to my website for all the ingredients and of course for more holiday appetizer recipe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.